Hello, everyone. Brenda, Lavada, Davis, welcome to our session for today. Would love to make sure that you all can hear and see us. So my name's Ashley, here with Kristal, Cherelle. Just type into the chat and let us know that you're able to hear and see, because that will be a critical component of today's session. All right, looks like, and also let us know where you're tuning in from. We have, looks like folks from lots of different places. Okay, thank you. Brenda says we can see and hear. That's great. Thank you, Niffer, appreciate it. Also, would love to learn a little bit about what you all are excited to learn from Kristal today. We are very lucky to have her with us. She is a storied musician herself, opened for Lauryn Hill, I noticed, which like 14-year-old me wants to talk to, could spend this whole workshop talking about that. And has since transitioned into coaching and helping folks find specific vocal stylings and developing their own unique voice. So do we have any singers here in the audience? I know we've got folks from Minnesota, looks like Brooklyn, Utah, New Jersey. Looks like we might have some folks who are just here to hear you sing, Kristal.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Well, thank you guys so much. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm honored, to be honest. Yes.
Terrific. So we are going to, basically for the audience tuning in, just to let you all know the format for today's session, Kristal's going to go over some of her own presentation that she's got to help us learn how some of the tricks and tips. And Kevin is saying that Minnesota cannot sing, so maybe we'll find some tips and tricks for helping Minnesota out a little bit. And I'll make sure we'll save some time for Q&A as Kristal is going through her content. So folks, as you are listening and learning, if there are any questions that pop up, feel free to type those in the chat, and I can make sure that we cover those in the Q&A portion. Looks like we do have some folks who have been singing for a long time. We have a few folks who are brand new.
Awesome.
Yeah, so without any further ado, Kristal, would love to hear in your own words just a little bit more about your backstory and what you're going to share with us today.
Awesome. Yes, I'd love to do that. So I think you said it all, Ashley. I am a Houston artist. I've been singing since I was a child as well, Brenda. I saw your comment. But yeah, I'm very passionate about R&B in particular. And the things that I love about singing is that it's not only an expression for yourself, but it really just opens the door to building confidence as a person. And then I think it's just important, especially now, to find outlets to be creative and find yourself so that you have something to do. Okay. Like it's tough out here and we're all just trying to manage. And more than anything, the biggest thing I'm most excited about is the transformation process. The fact that you can start with not even being able to sing a single note and learning how to breathe and finding your pitch and finding your sound. And it's just a huge breakthrough that really just transforms you from the inside out. I know everybody thinks it's all just about singing, and it is, but I just want to really reiterate how important it is and how much of a crossover it ends up being in life, just to find your voice. It's a huge thing, and I'm really passionate about that.
I was breathing it. I think after a year in this pandemic,
yes,
we're all in need of new ways to get in touch with very simple things like our breathing.
Yes.
And I love what you're saying about just exploring ways of expressing ourselves.
Yes.
However skilled we may or may not be, there's always room to develop skills, right? So
absolutely.
Excited to learn, Kristal. Thank you.
Wonderful. Yeah. And that's kind of why I wanted to start with talking about the difference between talent and skill. So there is this concept. I don't know if you guys have ever heard somebody say, oh, they're so talented, they're so gifted, when they hear somebody singing. And when you hear that, it makes you think, oh, okay, either you got it or you don't. And you know what, I blame like those competition shows that we see where it's like, these people are instinctually singers, right? And then you just are supposed to skyrocket to fame. To fame. I'm sorry, tongue twisted. And there's a huge difference. So I want to talk about it. The skill that you have is something that has to do with what you develop, okay? But your talent is exactly where you start. It's just like you came out of the womb and you had a pair of lungs, and maybe you could hit a note or two when you sang "Bye Bye Black Sheep" or whatever, and your mom's like, "Oh my gosh, okay, what is that?"
Natural rhythm.
Yeah, natural rhythm. All of those things, that's just kind of what you innately can do. And to be honest, it is kind of a luck of the draw kind of thing when it comes to talent. It's one of those things where either you're born with it or you're not. And there's definitely a lot of layers and levels to it. So I don't want you to think that if you don't have like 10 out of 10 talent for singing, that means you're not meant to sing. The truth is you can build your skill up. That's where you have a little bit more control over, what you're able to do. And so I wanted to just bust that myth out. Like I saw somebody in the comments earlier say they can't sing. I challenge you to reframe that. Yeah. So what you're saying is you don't have as much natural talent for singing, but you are able to sing. You just don't know how yet. You haven't built the skill yet. And that's why we're here, right? So let's talk about what are the things that you can do. So after that, there's some tools that you need for your growth. Okay, because it's one thing to think, okay, I can't sing. It's a whole nother thing to say, okay, how can I learn how to sing? Yeah. Have you ever had that thought, Ashley, when you wanted to try something new, like I can't do this, and then you had to like
yeah. If I'm not already good at it, I'm like, no, it's not for me.
Right.
So I check myself.
Exactly. But can you imagine if we walked around in life and we just assumed that things we didn't already know are not worth learning or that we could never learn? Like, I don't even know how to walk, guys.
Walking's not for me. Can't do it.
Can't do it. We'd be crawling. It's in our nature to grow. It's in our nature to develop. It's in our nature to build skill. And so that's why that growth mindset is really helpful for you to be successful as a singer. And I use the term success as far as building skill, okay? Being able to be the best that you can be. You have to believe that you can be better in order to start the journey. So another thing that I think is important is to have some goals. The reason why I say that is because you can go through the motions of things, but if you don't have a place that you want to end up, or maybe some level of singing that you want to have, level of skill that you want to have, you're not going to be able to find that. So I think it's important that, maybe you say, okay, I want to sing this song by Beyonce, like I want to sing Halo. Let's just throw that out there. And you're like, but I can't hit that high note, on the hook. I can't belt Halo right now, but I want to eventually be able to build my breath capacity and build my power and build my resonance so that I can sing the high parts of that song comfortably. Okay, so that's
what I love about that too. The goal is oriented towards something that brings you joy, right? So it's like there's just this song that I already feel.
Yes,
I want to be able to sing this one song. Exactly. Here, I like that way of making goals.
I think it's important that you start there because it gives you that passion you need. Because let's be honest, anytime you're learning something new, you're going to hit some challenges. It's not always going to be great. So you want to have something that brings you joy to work towards and remind yourself why you're doing it, guys. Like, I feel like if you are just singing a song you don't care about, you're going to quit. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have something you are passionate about to stick to it. There's a whole nother level to this too. Accountability. You got to have an accountability part. What song would be your stretch goal? That's right. That's a good way of saying that. Accountability is something where you have somebody else they need to know, somebody else who can hold you accountable to your goals. So maybe you tell a friend that you want to be able to sing Halo by Beyonce. And then, another thing I will say about the goals that you set, they need to be measurable. You got to say, you want to be able to hit that certain note in particular. And then by when do you want to do this? That way you have something to work towards. And then you can tell your friend can check in and be like, well, have you sung that song yet? And you're like, I haven't done it. Right. How are you doing? And those little check-ins are what really help you like stick to your big goal and make sure that you're still singing every day, that you're doing the exercises that it takes for you to develop your voice. So yeah, that leads me into the next one, which is having the right vocal regimen. So you're going to need to be able to have the tools you need to be able to sing that song by Beyonce. Like if right now you struggle to breathe, then you need some breathing exercises. You need some belting exercises if you've never belted before without straining. That's where the right vocal regimen comes in. And I'm going to show you guys some exercises. Okay. So we're going to work through it today. And another thing that you want is songs that you've mastered and songs that you aspire to sing. So it's good to have that.
I mean, these are my karaoke songs. Like 5 songs that I'm like, okay, I've had a glass of wine or a few, and now I'm ready. I can sing this song. Got a few of those.
Oh, that's good, Ashley. So let's just take that for a moment. So when you have those, what do you feel when you sing that song that you already know?
Confidence.
And there it is. Bingo. Yeah. Confidence. And that's why you got to have songs that you kind of your go-to. Like if somebody pulled you over on the street and said, hey, sing me a song. I don't know who would do that, but hey, you know, always be ready. Always be ready. That song is going to build your confidence. So maybe if you're nervous, you might start with that song. And then you could do a different song. And then you could over time learn some new songs that are harder than that level of the song you feel comfortable with. Does that make sense, everybody? Leave it in the comments if what I've talked about so far makes sense to you, or if you have any questions about any of these things. All right. Let's do the next one.
Yeah, look, I want to know what other people's confidence songs are too. What are the put into the comment what your what's your go-to song that you know how to sing, that you feel good singing? Maybe I mean for me it's karaoke because that's the only kind of singing that I do. Sometimes church choir, but
yeah. It's funny because I've been singing for so long. I'm thinking to myself like, what is my confidence song now? It's so interesting. Slide, Frank. Oh, I love that song. Slide by Frank Ocean. Nights like this. I've heard that song. I don't know it that well, but I like that. That's a fun song. It's pretty chill, laid back. I have no song that I feel good singing. That's okay, Lavada. Let me say something about that too. The confidence does come when you start training your voice so that you know what you're doing with your voice, so you feel a little bit more. I think the real root of lack of confidence is, am I doing this right? You know, that little and sometimes we're really hard on ourselves too. And chances are it's not as bad as you think. I bet you there's somebody who's like, oh, I love her voice, you know? So it's okay if you don't necessarily feel 100% with it. I'd say start simple and then you'll find that song, The Lord's Prayer. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one too. You know what? Now that you said that, I think Amazing Grace is my go-to.
Hey, okay.
Because it's so simple, not a lot of lyrics, not a whole lot. I can make it my own. It's my go-to, I think. Smiley face.
And there's something about that, about spiritual songs that kind of invite you to not be so self-critical, right?
Yes, it's not about you.
If you're singing for the Lord, then
exactly. Somebody else tell me, I love Amazing Grace, right? I think just about everybody does, whether you're religious or not. It's one of those songs we all know. So yeah, and there's so many renditions. So I love that, you guys. Y'all got some really good song choices in there. So let's talk about the transformation, okay? So there are some things that really come together to help make a vocal transformation possible. Mm-hmm. First, now I know we were talking about building confidence, which is important, but if you also want to improve your voice too, you have to identify what your vocal problems might be. So do you strain sometimes? Do you lose your breath sometimes when you're singing? Or do you find yourself being just a little bit pitchy, And then once you know what those problems are, here's the good news. Don't beat yourself up because of it. I know that's what most people do. People can list all the problems because we're so hard on ourselves. Mm-hmm. But what you do is think, okay, I know what they are, so now I can solve those problems, right? You just need to find the right solution, and we'll talk about the solutions to those problems here today. And then after that, you just train, you use those solutions on a regular basis so that you can continue you're solving those problems so that those problems start going away. All right. And then next thing you know, guess what you have, guys? Vocal transformation. That's what it's all about, because a lot of times when we think of, my perfect voice, I kind of want to know what you guys think. What does your perfect voice sound like? What are some things that you would love to be able to do with your voice? What does your transformation look like? What problems do you wish you could solve? Those are the kind of things to consider. What do you want to have happen? Okay.
That's a good question. As people are typing that into the chat here. So Kristal's asking, do you already know what vocal opportunities you want to seize or what you wish you might be able to improve? I'll just say for me, the pitchiness, there are times I don't know anything about singing or music theory, but there are definitely times singing in that choir where I'm like, ooh, I'm not helping out right now.
All right. So we know that pitch accuracy is something that you want to improve on. That's a common goal. I see somebody said they want to in different keys when they're not using. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. That's a good one, Clint.
Mm-hmm. And I will say something about that too, because I know auto-tune is really awesome. It helps us at least know where we're supposed to be. Okay. And so it's awesome when you're in the studio, but when you're live, I know it can be hard to find it. The best thing, I got some solutions for that, guys. We're going to talk about it, but best thing for that is ear training. Definitely pitch. Okay. So we're kind of having, I think everybody's on the same token here. Everybody's saying pitch.
Kristal, I wanted, because I saw a comment about this come in a little bit earlier, talking about the way that your voice changes over time. And somebody mentioned, I used to have a more of a range, or I can't get the high notes I used to be able to get. Mm-hmm. Some folks who are saying that they want to be able to get some of that range back, or is that?
It's possible, yes.
Yeah, okay. So there are exercises you can do for that.
Yeah, you can rehabilitate your voice, but the thing I want to say is this: if it's due to, there's two factors. One of them is lack of repetition and regularity. So your vocal cords are not as conditioned as they used to be. So if you stop singing and you grew older, it's a little different than just growing older. So and either way is fine. I just want you to know both of the solution works either way, but those are different problems. So one of them is just like growing up, you hit puberty or something, your voice changes, or a different hormonal thing happen. All kinds of things in life can change your voice. The biggest thing I always say is, if your voice used to be a certain way and you want to get it back, I challenge you to see what new things your voice can do now. Rather than striving for the voice you had, see what your voice can be from where it is right now, because there's some other things that might be different. Maybe you can hit lower notes than you used to hit.
Yeah, that's a good point. When you're saying that, it's making me think about, I can't even remember what actor it was who was talking about how at first she felt like she'd aged out of these starring roles that she'd once had, but then started to think about it as, but now I have access to all these different roles that I couldn't play before.
It's just different. And it's basically like getting a new voice. And so you have to get accustomed to what this new voice has to offer. So it's all about relearning your voice rather than trying to get it to do what it used to do. You just want to really listen to your body. It's your body when you think about it, guys. Your voice is a part of your body. So you got to be kind to it. Be careful with it. If it's saying, hey, I don't want to go here, listen, because you don't want to hurt yourself. But at the same time, you want to, gradually stretch your vocal cords, see where they can go in a comfortable, healthy way. All right. So we talked about that. Can tell you what it's about. Yes, that's right. My pitch comes from lack of breath. So pitch and lack of breath control can be similar, but it's not causal or whatever. It's not connected. So the idea is if you run out of breath, you're going to have less control overall. Okay. So you're going to be a whole lot more likely to be pitchy. I'm just answering one of the questions here, but let's keep going, guys. Very good questions. Love this. All right. So let's talk about what vocal regimen is, because we were talking about finding solutions to those problems. We were just talking about it a moment ago. So I think a lot of, we got to talk about what it is not first, because I know we're all just looking. We're all just trying to find our solutions to our problems. And sometimes you don't know which ones are the right ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a series of random exercises. You got to know what the purpose of them are first to know that it's going to work for you.
Yeah.
Because I think it can be easy to be like, okay, I just need to do something about this. And it might not be the right thing, guys. Right. So that's why we're going to talk about what the right things are. You also want to do, just don't do one exercise. It can be very tempting to like fix this one thing and think, all I'm going to do is only work on vocal runs because that's all I care about right now. But maybe you need to work on your breath control and overall pitch accuracy first, right? So you got to, pace yourself, It's also not just singing a song over and over again just to make the song perfect, because what ends up happening is if you're not conditioning your voice, but you're trying to learn a song that's difficult, you're not going to have the tools you need to do it well. Okay. Mm-hmm. And training yourself to sing it incorrectly. Has that happened? I see you nodding your head, Ashley. Has that happened?
No, I was just thinking of like you wouldn't, if you were trying to build a barn or something, you wouldn't just get up and keep trying to build a barn if you didn't have a hammer, right? Like you don't
exactly.
Right. You got to make sure you got the right structure, the right tools.
Yes, it's exactly like that. It's also like if you were an athlete and you go to play basketball, but you've never gone to practice, you've never done the drills, the training, you're not conditioned, and then you try to play the game every day. That's a lot, and you might actually hurt yourself if you're not ready and conditioned. So it's important to have a regimen. And it shouldn't make you dread singing. I want to say that too. If your regimen's like, oh, gotta do this again, then it's time to, maybe break it up in pieces. The exercises should be challenging, but shouldn't be overwhelming or anything like that. And then it should be something you do on a regular basis, guys.
Hence regimen.
Hence the word regimen. Exactly. So let's talk about what the regimen actually includes. Warm-ups, necessary vocal exercises. You also can sing a song, okay? That's part of it too. All right, includes vocal cool downs, and it should be easy for you to maintain and follow in the long term, because we're talking about building new habits, unlearning old habits, so that you can have that vocal transformation we talked about earlier. And it should adapt with you. So you can outgrow the exercises, guys. There's a time. Yeah, you're like, okay, this is too easy. Then it's time to move on.
Level up. Now it's time to level up.
Level up. Like
this is just like workout routines that you would do, for the rest of your physical body.
Exactly. Yeah. So today I know we're talking about leveling up, but today we're only going to talk about level 1 exercises, because we're not trying to level up in the span of our session today. That's, it takes time. We talked about that earlier. So we're only doing level 1, guys, but it's a good place to start. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. So to get the best results with your voice, it's good to record yourself, listen back. Sometimes it helps to also be in the mirror so you can see what's happening in your body. Are you raising your shoulders? Are you tensing up? Are you going like this when it's time to get to the high notes? What's happening? Take inventory of what's going on, and then be patient with yourself. And it's also important to track your progress. So everybody who's here right now, hopefully you're in a place where you can sing, shut the door, quarantine yourself in your room. And if anybody knocks and says, what's going on in there, say none of your business. None of your business. You'll see when I come out all vocally ready. Okay. So yeah, we're going to go on and start. So let's see. Let's talk about breathing. Okay. Put in the comments if you always wanted to learn how to breathe properly for singing. Breathing. Type in breathe. Yes. Okay. I see one. Yes. Who wants to learn how to breathe? Okay.
I'm still not sure I know how to breathe from my diaphragm. I've known since 4th grade that that's what I'm supposed to do, but I don't know if I've ever been able to actually do it.
That part. So I have to say this. I'm sure you probably heard the term diaphragm. Heard it, but like, what is and more than anything, who cares about like what it means? How do I do it? Right?
Yeah.
Everyone wants to do.
We got lots of yes. Everybody's
saying yes.
We start with the breathing basics, please.
Okay, Ashley, do you mind being a guinea pig for everyone today?
Well, I will do it. I'm ready. I am ready. Like I said, I've been needing to learn how to do this since I was 6. So let's find that diaphragm.
All right. I want you guys to do exactly what I'm telling Ashley to do, if you can. Okay. It's also best if you can stand. Ashley, I know I'm putting you on the spot. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, you're right, because I followed the light in my little house here, so I'm gonna.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that, but I think you're gonna do great.
This is what we're all learning together, right?
We are. Let's get it. I love your outfit, by the way. It's so vibrant. It's perfect. Okay. All right. So if you angle the camera just a little bit so people can see you from the waist up, perfect. Love that. All right. So what we're going to do, and as you're doing this, guys, I want you to follow suit. Try to stand up just like Ashley. And Ashley, what I want you to do is put your hands kind of interlocked like this. Oh, sorry.
Got some lights here.
You look great. I can see you.
You can? Okay, good.
But place it right over your stomach, your lower belly. Mm-hmm. Very good. All right. And what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to breathe in. But as we breathe in, Ashley, in particular, you're going to breathe in and you're going to make sure that you make your hands expand outwards when you breathe in. But your shoulders, here's the challenge, guys. This is going to be a fun little game. They don't go up and down. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say not this, right?
Not this. Not this.
Not this way.
Not this. The spine's gonna stay neutral. We're not gonna lean back or anything. Okay. So let's try it. Let's see if you can take a deep breath in and really focus on pushing your hands out. Okay. When you breathe in, your stomach's gonna push those hands out. Try that in. Breathe in. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Breathe out. Okay. So somebody, you said since 4th grade. I think you remember. Do it one more time. Okay. So I did see a little bit of this. You're doing good. Takes some getting used to, doesn't it? All right. Do it real slow. There you go. Awesome. Do you feel that, Ashley?
I do. Yeah. It's weird. It's like, I don't really think about breathing going out this way.
Maybe it does. It goes out. Anybody in the comments, are y'all feeling that like Ashley? Take another deep breath in. Stomach is going out. That's amazing. Great job. Okay, so are your shoulders staying down, guys? All right, so I think we've got the foundation of breathing. Okay. All right, you don't have to stand anymore, Ashley. I'm sorry I put you on the spotlight.
No, that's okay. It's good. I'm just going to bring y'all back over here.
You're such a trooper for that. Amazing. All right, so now, guys, we're going to go ahead and do some breathing exercises. You can follow along. You can also do this sitting. I should have said that, but I wanted them to visually see. So now, guys, you can do this.
I'm glad I did that because it helped me know what it feels like.
And I'm seeing in the comments, some of you guys actually really got that breathing down. I'm so happy to see that. So now, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to take a deep breath in as full as we can. Those hands are going out. And you're going to take an extra breath in on top of that. I know it sounds crazy, but we're trying to get as full as we can. You're going to hold it for 8 counts, and then you're going to hiss out, okay? I'm going to do it with you on the first one. That way you at least know how it goes. All right, let's press play. Here we go. And here we go.
1, 2, ready.
We're breathing in.
In as full as you can. Breathe more.
Even more. And hold.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slowly release out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
All right, guys, keep going. You got it.
This time you're gonna slowly release for 16. Breathe in a little bit more.
This is all about expanding the
and
lungs.
Hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Release 2.
Just go as far as you can go, even if you can't make it all the way through, it's okay.
9, 10, 11, 12,
13, 14, 15, 16. Don't get dizzy, just let it go. All right.
I could feel the difference between the first one and the second one. That's kind of cool.
Yes, exactly. So did you feel how full you were able to breathe, guys? Leave it in the chat if you tried it and you felt your lungs expand. Tell me how you felt with it. Tell me how you felt. That full expansion. So what that does is it helps you increase your breath capacity, guys. So when you actually need to sing louder or need to hold a note longer or be able to sing for a higher pitch even because you need extra air for that, it helps you have that breath support you need. Ooh, yes, I felt the expansion. I love to see that. I'm glad you felt that. Amazing. All right. So that's the example of the breath expander. We're going to keep going. All right, this one is it's a little simpler. I'm glad you guys could follow along with the expander. With this one, all you're gonna do is breathe in and hiss out afterwards. No holding, all right? You're gonna go as far as you can on this. It's good to keep track of how far you got. I wanna know the number after this one. Somebody said I could feel the muscles relaxing everywhere.
Yeah, Alicia, that's a good observation.
Yeah, that's a really good sign.
Exercise number 2.
Here we go, guys, here we go.
Hiss. Breathe in for 2 counts, then hiss out for 16.
All right, let's get it.
1, 2, ready, go. Breathe in, 2, hiss out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
How y'all doing? Good
now
job.
You're gonna breathe in for 2 and
surprise
out for
yourself.
24. 1, 2,
Where do we
breathe
go?
in, 2, hiss out. 2,
hiss out,
3,
you got it,
4,
you got it.
5,
Go as
6,
far as you can
7,
go.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
Halfway
13,
there.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
Good job. Wherever you land's
Now
okay.
you're gonna
Make a
breathe in
mental
for 2
note of
and
how
hiss
far you
out
get.
for 32. 1, 2, breathe in, 2,
And
hiss
hiss out.
out.
We're gonna go to 32
3,
this
4,
time.
5, 6, 7,
Pace
8,
yourself.
9,
Start
10,
soft. See if you
11,
can finish
12,
strong.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19,
There you go.
20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32.
32. Who made it to 32 so far?
Close.
Close. Okay. Comments what number you ended up stopping at. I want to know how you're doing. And don't be ashamed. You're good wherever you are. Remember, this is level 1. You got to have a starting point. All right. How did y'all feel on the hiss?
48 counts.
Ooh, I didn't mean to click that. All right. So far, so good. We're going to go to the next one. This one's a little different. Okay. This one is, somebody said.
All right, Alicia made it.
Oh, you made it. Good job. Amazing. So this is the sprinkler. It's a little fun. It's a student favorite. Everyone who takes the course loves this. I gotta say, the sprinkler is really fun. Okay, 32, 31, but so close.
All right, Vana.
Okay, good job, guys. Not fully connected. That's okay. You got
a little bit of that too.
Yeah, that's okay. 32, that's great. Awesome. So far, so good. I feel like you guys are going to absolutely love this one, okay? So the sprinkler, you're going to breathe in, and then you're going to do short hisses on the pulse.
Sounds like a sprinkler.
Exactly. That's why it's called the sprinkler. I'm sorry, I was laughing. But yeah, that's why I call it the sprinkler. It's a little homemade name, homemade exercise. Hope you guys love it. Let's give it a shot, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. If you don't get it right on the first one, you get another shot, right? So let's try it. Here we go. Full breath, guys. Remember, shoulders and chest are neutral.
In for 2 counts, then pulse out for 8 pulsating hisses.
All right, let's get it.
1 long hiss for 8
Really focus
counts.
on your breath.
1, 2, breathe in, 2, pulse out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and long. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Good job. Let's try 16
now
and 16.
16. 1, 2, breathe in, 2, out. 2, 3, 4,
you got
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, long.
Let's get it.
3, 4,
This is that long
5,
sprinkler.
6,
You got
7, 8, 9, 10,
Wherever you land is
11,
okay.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
How you
Now we're gonna
doing?
do 24 and
Last
24.
one.
2, ready, go. Breathe in, 2 and out. 2.
Make sure these
3,
breaths are full.
4,
Really
5,
pace yourself
6,
on these short ones,
7,
okay, guys?
8,
You got it.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
Really
14,
short.
15,
You got this,
16,
Ashley.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and long.
Wherever you
2,
land is
3,
okay.
4,
You're doing great.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
Almost.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
Did you make it, Ashley? Oh,
My sprinkler ran out at 21. It was like,
but 24, 21. You did great. I think that was something. You know what I think? So, and a lot of you guys can probably relate to Ashley. She wasn't able to take a full breath right before that one, did you? It kind of on you, didn't it? I saw that, but that's okay.
I was trying to catch up to it.
Exactly. And so it makes sense, because when you first learn how to breathe fully like that, it's a whole lot easier to do that when it's slow. I saw somebody else say that earlier. They weren't able to fully take in enough air on the inhale. So this is going to be helpful to you too. When you breathe in, you have to start training your intercostal muscles. Those are those lower back muscles to fully push so that you can expand that stomach out. And by pushing, I mean push the stomach out so it's already open. So when you breathe in, you can take a full breath really fast. Yeah, guys, that's what
I see. Okay.
and that's really going to be helpful when you're singing a song, because guess what? We don't always have 4 counts or 3 counts to breathe in.
Breathe in, yeah.
In a song. Sometimes they give you 1 beat, okay, like 1 count. And this one you only had 2, and they're pretty fast. But you did a fantastic job. Somebody said 24, 21. Oh, somebody else is your sprinkler twin.
Yeah. It was funny because it was called the sprinkler. Like, it really did sound like somebody had just turned the faucet off and it went.
Exactly. And guys, you know what? Those of you who made it to the 24s, just know that this is just level 1. There's levels to this, but you did fantastic. Okay. I'm so glad you guys did it. All right. You ready? Let's see.
I'm with you, Lana, my sprinkler twin.
Yes, your sprinkler twin. Okay. So how do you guys feel like you did on your breathing exercises? Do you feel like you made it through halfway? I want to know in the comments, how'd you do? How did you do? Did you notice anything about your breathing? Did you notice that your chest and shoulders started to relax as you engaged with your diaphragm? Or are you still struggling to find your diaphragm? I want to know how you're doing. All right.
Brenda's getting 24 for the first time.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Some like feeling positive. This breath wasn't fully connected, but most folks looks like everybody's saying like, yep, got close, got to 28.
That's fantastic. Cool. I'm so happy to hear that. Great job, guys. Now, all that, and here we are. You thought you already warmed up. I bet you feel already warmed up, right? But guess what? We got to warm up the vocal cords. It was getting smoother as we kept going. I'm glad you felt that way. So what we're going to do now is just do a low to high and high to low. Now, I really want you to pay attention to what happens as you do it. Is there a sharp change in the way you go from your low to your high notes? If there is, I want you to make an A sound internally with your mouth closed, okay? Give it a shot. You can try it, Ashley. I'm sorry. I'll just put you on the spot. All right, here we go. Just take a deep breath in from your diaphragm that we talked about earlier. Fantastic. Okay. You're warm.
What you did? I don't know.
No, that was amazing. Great job. Okay, so we're going to keep going. Did everybody warm up? Put yes if you warmed up. All right, so we're going to talk briefly about this part. I'll be skipping around a little bit today, but we're just going to be talking about some main points here. If you're ever wanting to know how low you can go on a low note, it usually helps for you to sing meh, 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 meh until you can't go anymore. The reason why it's good to use the meh sound is it helps your vocal placement stay forward. if you ever go, just do this for me. Until you feel the buzz behind your lips. Do you feel that buzz behind your lips? Or do you feel like that? So we got to make sure it's not dropping the larynx. The tongue stays up. Feel the buzz behind your lips. There you go. That's right.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. It's a lip tickler.
Lip tickler.
Yeah.
Great. So the reason why it's important to get that buzz behind your lips is so that you don't drop your larynx, because guess what happens? When you do that and you're singing a low note, it's like swallowing the note and we can hardly hear it.
I've definitely had that happen before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you ever experienced that, then that will help you, the sound, to help you find that placement forward again. Okay. So what about your high notes? Okay. I know a lot of people said they wanted to increase their range. If you want to find your high notes, it helps to sing an E instead, okay? Because all those other vowels are heavy sometimes, and it's really hard to get up there. So you just keep going, and just keep going as high as you can go until it says, we done. All right. And that's how you end up finding what your lowest note is and your highest note is. There's a little bit more to that, but if you take the course, you'll see a lot more details as far as the actual note and the octave value and all of that. But that's the gist of it. Okay, guys. All right, let's talk about the next thing.
On behalf of the audience, thank you for not making me do that. We're just
yeah, you're welcome. Oh yeah.
I'm just thinking about the audience here.
You're like, I'm thinking about their ears and their speakers. No.
Right. I want to set the dogs in everyone's neighborhoods off. I know we got people in Brooklyn and Utah.
It is okay. And that's the thing, I know we joke right now, but at the end of the day, I bet you sound great. Okay. There's probably some things about your voice that you do love. Okay. Even if you don't love all of it. Okay. I'm sure people everyone here can relate to you about feeling about something that they don't want people to hear. All right. So let's talk about some full range exercises and how you can do it. We're just going to do an example of it. But basically, the gist is on your low notes, you're going to sing meh, meh, meh for every note. Because remember, we talked about that placement. So wherever you are right now, if you have a mid-range, we're going to sing. We'll start this note here. Just follow after me, okay? Here we go. Meh, 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 meh. Give it a shot wherever you are. Meh, 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 meh. All right. And when you do that low note, make sure that you're not dropping your chin too low. Try to keep your neck neutral. Everything neutral. I know on the way down, I don't know why, but it's only on the way down that people tend to go like this. Yourself. Let's try it one more time. Meh, 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 meh. Good job. That was better, Ashley. That was awesome.
It's funny. It's funny the things that you do without noticing that you're doing them. I so appreciate, for those of you who are just joining us, earlier, Kristal mentioned a good technique to when you're practicing is recording yourself, doing it in a mirror, and that I'm a public speaking coach and would suggest that to anybody that I were coaching as well, but would never think to do it for my own singing. But it's there's
a lot of crossover there.
Yeah.
Crossover. And then, so on the next part, let's say we're doing the mid-range, okay? When we get to the mid-range, we're actually going to sing a different sound. We're going to sing A. The reason why we're opening it up to the A is because it really opens the mouth. And then we're going to raise the tongue. One thing I like to do is tell you to press the tip of your tongue towards the back of your lower teeth. That way you can get a good brassy sound in the middle part of your voice, and especially the upper mid-range. Now, don't worry if some of these notes that I'm singing might be high or low for you, because everyone has a different vocal range. As you see here in the slide, there's the basses, the baritones, the tenors, the low range male singers, or those who happen to have that low range. And then we got alto, mezzo soprano, and soprano for the higher voices. So of course, not everybody can sing every note, and that's okay. I just want to say that, stress that. Don't worry about that. But as far as when you get to the middle part of your voice, sing A. Okay. Does that make sense? Everybody's middle is different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you get to it, you want to do that. And when you get to your high notes, you want to sing E, guys. So give it a shot. Think of the highest parts of your voice. E, and just sing E, okay? Have fun with it. Those notes that you're afraid to hit in a song, if you hit that high note or it comes up and you have a hard time making the sound, switch it to an E instead of the word. Whatever it is, try E and see if you can do it on an E. If you can do it on an E, that should be reassuring to you to let you know that, yes, I can hit this note. I don't know how to have the right placement for that sound quite yet, but it's in my range.
I'm curious, as you're going through this, I'm wondering for our audience, do you know what you sing for, do you know that you're an alto or a soprano? If so, would love to see, let's see what kind of choir we'd have with this audience.
Right. Yeah. If you know,
are you a bass? Are you a tenor?
Yeah. Who's it?
Know what you are?
A baritone, tenor. Anybody know their classification yet? And if you don't, well, if you do, first of all, put it in the chat. Okay.
Yeah,
we want to know that first. If you don't, there's some clues to help you find out. When you're singing through your entire vocal range, do you feel more comfortable in the lower parts of your voice, middle parts of your voice, or the higher part? Also, are you a male vocalist or female? And this is non-gender. This is just about the voice types. So I feel the need to say that just so everybody, I want to be as inclusive as possible. Pretty broad range. Alto, I see that. I'm also an alto. Who else? Let's see. So an alto is like the lower female vocal range. I don't know.
Had to sing rock, so it's trying high, like a little AC/DC kind of style.
You're a tenor then. That sounds more like a tenor. And so the thing is, if you feel more comfortable in the higher parts of your voice and you're a guy, you're probably a tenor. If you feel more comfortable in your higher parts of your voice and you're a woman, you're most likely a soprano. If you feel real strong in that mid range and you're a guy, probably a baritone, mezzo soprano for women. And lower range people, I know I like to sing real low too. Okay. I'm an alto. And then the bass is on the guy's end. And the reason why I say where you feel most comfortable, because that's important, because your range is not necessarily your voice classification, because you can have a wide range. Just because I can sing high notes doesn't mean I'm a soprano.
Yeah, I think as you're saying this, I'm having a realization. I've been singing soprano in the church choir, but I think that I might actually be an alto, because it's living up in the high territory is not as comfortable for me.
Yes,
I do it, but I don't. It's not as comfortable.
Well, and see, that's an important thing to talk about too, because when you're in choir, guess what? They put you where they need you, and if they need a soprano and you can hit the notes, you're going there whether you like it or not.
That's right. That's right.
I was with mezzo sopranos a lot because I could do that, but somebody said they're probably mezzo soprano. Very good. Every voice type has some secret superpowers. I love to talk about that. Yes. Altos and basses, they have those rich, strong, chesty chest voice. They can really do a great job with the lower range, really strong. The mezzo sopranos and the baritones, their secret power is that mixed belt that people usually don't think about. Of course, there's some other things like timbre, the tone of your voice that might give you a different ability. Like say you have a lighter voice, you might be able to have more agility, meaning you could sing through notes quickly, like vocal run. Stuff like that. Yeah, we definitely have the making of a full choir. All right, so
that's what I was saying. I was like, all right, y'all, we're gonna first discover choir here for us. When we're hitting the road, we're going on tour.
So right now, we definitely won't have time to go through everything, but what we will do is this. We're going to talk about vocal problems and how to solve them, because majority of you said your biggest problem was being pitchy. We got to address that today. I have some tips to help you train your ear and so that you can improve your pitch. So let's get into that. Was there any other vocal problems that we should cover today in the comments that you really feel is a hard thing for you? Leave it there and I'll make sure we address it. All right. So pitchiness, let's talk about it first. So one of the things that you want to do is pace yourself. I think it's so easy to want to hurry up and sing the song just immediately when you need to really listen to it. And I have to say this too. It's one thing to listen as a casual listener, but it's a whole nother thing to listen as a singer. Like, I'm going to have to sing this, so I really need to pay attention. Has that ever happened to you? Like, you heard a song and like maybe you're at karaoke and they say, do you know it? And you're like, yeah, I heard it plenty of times. I know it. And then you get on the mic and you're like, wait.
And the sound that comes out is like, oh, Lord.
Right. It's because you didn't have enough time to listen with intent. Somebody said, right. So yeah, definitely. And then some things that help is to break it down. Sometimes you got to break it down to one note at a time. If you find yourself going below the note, meaning you're flat, or over the note, meaning sharp, you've got to really focus on which note that is. Chances are, and I'm going to say this to everyone, no one's pitchy all the time. It's usually just a few notes in a phrase that you're missing. Okay. So the thing is to listen to find out what particular note, and usually it's the same ones. It's like every time I sing this song, I always miss this one note. Well, if that's the case, spend some time on that one note instead of trying to sing the whole song and wonder why, that one part's always, a little mismatched. Another thing that helps is to sing with a tuner. I'm not sponsored by On Pitch or anything, but it's a little app that I found that I think is pretty cool. And it's a monitor. Yeah, it's honest.
Okay. On Pitch is gonna get real with me. That's fine.
Gonna get real.
I can take it on Pitch. I can take it.
It is that girlfriend that tells you about your life. Okay,
just like, girl, listen.
Like, girl, what are you doing? Yeah, it will show you if you're flat or sharp, and your goal is to get as close to it as possible. We're not robots, so it's not going to be perfect. Okay. And then also to sing with the exercises that have pitches in them will help you also train your ear as well. So very good, very good. All right. So somebody asked, how do you find the best songs for your voice? That's a great question. You want to choose songs that have more comfortable notes in your range, meaning if you want to, first of all, make sure that you can sing all the notes in the song. And then you want to choose a song that has most of the notes in the most comfortable parts of your voice. That's the best way to choose. I want to spend some time with some Q&A and as well before we run out. Let's start with that. So let's talk about any questions you guys have right now. Let's see if I can stop.
Well, there are also I noticed a few folks who were mentioning straining as an issue that they address, which I know you touched on that as being like a function of your breathing, right? Something you can do breathing exercises to help with. But what if that's a thing that you're encountering often in your singing?
Well, I do have that. I want to share that here too. I do have that slide actually, if we can talk about that.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I just skipped over it because I didn't see it in the comments. Sorry guys, we'll talk about it. So if you're straining or cracking or your voice is also flipping, this is the same solution that will fix that problem. It's really cool.
What does that mean, flipping?
When you go, like it's just a real disjointed sound between a lower pitch and a higher one. So yes. One of the things you could do is make sure, like we did earlier, on the meh, you can hum through your pitches and make sure you feel the buzz here the whole time, raising the back of your tongue internally as well. Because a lot of straining has to do with when you drop your tongue like this and you try to reach for the high note like that.
Okay. So it can have to do with actual, just like the physical movement of your.
Well, it's the physical movement and it's your tongue placement.
Right.
So raising the back of the tongue versus like where it gets.
Oh yeah, it did look like you were reaching.
Yeah. And it sounded really shaky and tense. And if I really pushed, it would crack. I'm not going to do that because I care about my voice. but if you care about your voice, then we're going to stop doing that too. So another thing that you could do is mia, mia. You can sing mia through the pitches that you normally crack on because the E naturally raises your tongue and the ya forces you to drop the jaw on the high notes and still keep the tongue raised. Mia, mia, mia. All right. You want to try that, Ashley? Well, you said you were an alto. We're both altos, but I know you're not as comfortable in the mid part. Let's try to go down a little bit. Mia, 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 mia. Oh, yes. Do you see how your ass turning into ah? You're dropping your tongue a little.
Oh, yeah.
So if that happens to you, you can press the tip of the tongue towards
the bottom of your teeth.
So it stays like an ah instead. Mia.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, meow.
You're not straining though. You're not straining. Like I can tell you're not in love with it yet, but you're not straining though.
No, yeah. That's
and that's the thing there. Another thing you could do is a exercise called the OES. Oh yeah. And the E helps you bring it up to the nasopharynx, which is up here. Rather, the whole point of the straining usually happens back here. If you're in the back of your throat, you're going to strain eventually when you get to that mid and high range. So for those of you who are straining, have you tried those sounds yet? The mia, the oh yeah.
Yeah, those of you who were bringing that up, the straining as something that you're trying to navigate through. Do you get what Kristal is saying when as you're sort of practicing and feeling how the movement of the placement of your tongue kind of either, helps you steer away from that
exactly.
strain?
Yeah.
Would love to hear your feedback as you're trying them out at home. Okay, Alicia says it's definitely making a difference for her. That's
I'm
cool.
glad to hear that. Which one did you like the most? The oh yeah, the mia, or the hmm? Everybody's different. I'm always curious which one was the breakthrough. But yeah, very good.
I'm also curious about this question that Laura is bringing up. Is it wrong for me to think country is easy for a lot of folks? So just kind of, or maybe easier. So it sounds like what she's tapping into here is like a question about, is there some quality about country music that makes it friendlier on your voice, for example, or any type of music?
That's a good point. As being that I specialize in R&B, I know R&B is a challenging genre because there's a lot of vocal runs and belting and things of that nature. So I can definitely see how more, maybe country and pop could be considered simpler. As far as country itself, I wouldn't say it's necessarily easier because I do notice that they belt a lot. A lot of people don't talk about it. And they have a lot of vocal trills, meaning they go really quickly between notes. And some of them, like if you think about, what is that song? Tennessee Whiskey. That's a country song, but it's not easy. It's not an easy song. So I don't know. I don't think country's easy. Okay.
I guess it depends on what feels comfortable for you. And if there are things that are comfortable or in your range that occur frequently in a particular genre, then it might, I guess it might feel easier, right?
That's true. And that's another thing too. And I'm really, I really like helping people sing the hard songs, so that like what used to be hard is no longer hard for you. So you can learn concepts that you've always been afraid of so that you could develop past it. So even if it is an easy genre, I challenge you to also step it up and try a song that's not so easy in the genre, if you're interested in that.
So speaking of what you're especially gifted in helping folks with, that kind of, trying different challenging songs within genres. Will you talk a little bit about your course and what you go into in more depth? We have some folks who are asking, in the course, are there ways to kind of get some feedback on your own either issues that you're trying to navigate or goals or that kind of thing, and some other folks just asking about what else you cover in your course.
Definitely. And I realize the wrong link is on the slide. So yeah, sorry about that.
I have got the link to the course right here. So it's in the comments there for everybody.
Guys, use the link in the chat. Basically, we're going to talk about vocal tricks. We're going to talk about how to sing vocal runs in a simple way, fixing your vocal problems. We talked about a few of those problems here, but I'll give you exercises in the course for those. Improving your range. So I have some vocal range exercises. We weren't able to cover that today, but they're in the course. Also, level 2 breathing, level 3 breathing. Y'all did level 1 today, part of level 1. But yeah, there's more where that came from in the course. There's also some information on performance, how to have a strong performance, and also how to keep your voice healthy. I have vocal health instructions in the course as well. Another thing is solving your vocal problems, kind of like how we did here. We were talking about what the problems are. There are modules in the course that cover those in depth. So you get a chance to work through those in the course. And I highly recommend that you repeat the course as many times as you want, because guess what? It's a
you keep getting better, right?
Leveling up. So all the levels are in the course. Another thing is, somebody asked, do I give feedback? Yes. At the beginning of the course, you're going to email me a video clip of you performing on the first day, and I'll send you an email back on which parts of the module you should focus on. And then you'll reach back later after 24 weeks or 12 weeks. Those are the 2 big milestones. And then we'll see your transformation. Okay.
Love that. So for those of you, and I know that, earlier on in the comments, some folks were asking about this. So I put the link to the course in the chat here. So check that out. Also, there is a playback available of this session, so you can practice those breathing exercises a little bit more. And I love, Kristal, the idea that you'll give direct feedback to folks as they're working their way through the module. So it's almost like a custom built course for you and where you are in your singing journey, and then what you want to focus on, right? That's
right. Because if you're struggling to match pitches, you might not need to go as in depth on the vocal run parts of the course, but that doesn't mean you won't ever get there. That's the beauty of it. It's a lifetime access to the course because you're going to level up. Okay.
Yes. So I would love the audience, as as we're finishing up with our Q&A here, would love to hear some other feedback. Please join me in thanking Kristal for all of these incredible tips and information about things that you can put into action right now to help improve your voice, your range, your pitch, all these things, and lots of love being shown here, Kristal, about your energy and your beautiful voice. And we've got folks in Australia who are very into this and looking at participating in the course. So for the rest of you, please, join me in thanking Kristal. Would love to hear what you're most excited to practice from today's session. And if you're gearing up for that course, what do you want to keep working on? Given that everybody needs to start rehearsal for our Discover choir
this choir is so ready, you guys. What are we singing for our Discover choir? What song are we singing? Are we singing Amazing Grace, guys?
No, Amazing Grace is in the queue. That one got a lot of love.
Who's gonna be the lead? Anybody volunteering?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna have to be somebody else. I'm the guinea pig. Somebody else will have to take the lead. Thank you. Also got some great comments in here coming through about the session.
Something else as well. You guys can ignore. I'm sorry. There's an alarm going on outside. Hopefully you can still hear me. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
All right. So you can also bundle one-on-one coaching sessions with the course, guys. At checkout. So check that out. If you want to add that, it's a really great combo. I just wanted to toss that in there.
Yes, love that.
Well, mm-hmm.
As some parting wisdom, we have a question from Nicole here about what your recommendations might be for stepping out on social media to showcase your voice. Like, are there apps in particular that you like using? Nicole's mentioning that she'd heard of a cappella before, but is there anything else that you like to use, Kristal?
So I personally feel that it's most important to go where people who want to listen to music are, or who are going to become fans. If you go to a place that is nothing but singers, it's great for you to start, but you're not going to build a fan base that way. So I
That's a good point.
No, really, because it's just like, hey, good job. Go check me out. It's a bunch of that. There's no So I suggest using traditional social media, TikTok, Twitter. I know Twitter is like not really for audio, but you'd be surprised how viral things go there. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Yes, absolutely. So I highly suggest that.
Also, we've got a request for where folks can find your music, Kristal. So,
my music or the
we need to, where do we go to hear you sing?
Oh, okay. Well, you can type in Kristal Cherelle online. I have an album out that I haven't really promoted my own music in a long time, but I appreciate that. That's amazing. Yes, on Spotify, Apple Music. That my music is there. Another thing,
I'll put a link to your YouTube channel. You think that's maybe the best?
Yeah, for Indie Artist School, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Put that link in here.
Go ahead.
No, please.
I was just gonna say, I just recently the YouTube channel has some songs, breakdowns of how to sing runs like certain artists and things like that on the channel. You'll hear me sing on the channel too, and get some instruction at the same time. Oh, that's the wrong channel. Let me give you the right channel.
Oh, Indie Artist School.
Yeah. My personal one is not really. I'm not really on there anymore. This is the one. I'll send you the link here in the comment. Sorry about that, guys.
Got it. Let me put that up for everyone. And if anybody has any final questions or whoops. I just copied that to you, Kristal. Kristal and I are just going to send a link to her channel back and forth to each other. All right. So I just posted this link in the comments for those of you who are looking for Kristal's music. You can go there to find both some examples of her gorgeous singing and also some additional examples of vocal runs and some of those R&B singing tricks and maybe not tricks, but experiments.
I call them tricks.
Okay. Exercises.
Yes.
That's a good place to go. Kristal, thank you so much for your generosity and your wisdom and your energy. It's been really great to explore this different and to hear from so many folks in the audience who are already rediscovering. I love Brenda. She said, my 74-year-old self is thanking you for an emotional kick in the pants to get me back in using my voice and enjoying it. That's
beautiful. That's the power. That's the reason why. Yeah, I'm so thankful for you. Yes, never stop singing, girl. Never. Okay.
Thank you, folks, for joining us. Really excited to. I'm also going to drop the link to Kristal's course in here that she mentioned, which is so special and rare to have an offer of like some individualized feedback, which is so hugely important when you're coaching, learning any new skills to improve. So I thank you for that offer, Kristal. Oh, and if you want to learn some more about the course, there's the link. There's a replay of this broadcast that'll be available. Everyone will get that via email. And of course, it's available on the YouTube channel as well. If you like what you've seen here, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll let you know next time Kristal is back with us. And Discover Choir. Looking forward to it.
Hearts out, okay? At the end of the day, I hope you get off of this and just go sing. Like, that's all I want from you right now. Like, and take the chorus, of course, but sing.
Mangle. Yeah, mangle.
Absolutely.
Thank you all for joining us. Kristal, if you could hang out for a minute, I'll close us up here. Thanks, everybody, and look forward to seeing you on stage.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.